Hi, I'm Chris. I am an Access Consciousness Facilitator, and this is the story of how I realized that I was psychic. So, I've realized I've been psychic for most of my life, most of what I can remember. However, I realized that I was psychic during the worst time of my life. So, basically, um, around the time that COVID started is when I realized that I was psychic. I was having a really hard time, just generally speaking, like a lot of us were. And most of it was at night. Most of it was at night. So I could not sleep, and everybody was talking about that, right? During COVID. Everybody was talking about how, some people were really struggling with depression, with anxiety, and with lack of sleep. And so I was one of those people, and I was kind of going crazy because I couldn't sleep for like one day, okay, for 2 nights, okay, for 3 nights, and I was going crazy. And so I got to the point where I was like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm going crazy. If this doesn't change, like, I don't want anything to do with life anymore. And I spoke to my cousin who is a doctor, and I was asking for help. And the funny thing is, he recommended an energetic session. You would have thought that maybe he would have said pills or something. But he recommended I do an energetic session, which is called the bars. Well, that was kind of like the start of me having more ease. And the thing is, I later realized that all of those difficulties, like the me not being able to sleep, the depression, the anxiety, they were some of the signs that I was perceiving everybody around me. I was perceiving all the people that I was connected with. I was perceiving a lot of the people who no longer had bodies, so entities, beings with no bodies. I was perceiving so much, which is why I felt like I was going crazy. So, what made me realize that I was psychic is when I learned the tool of who does this belong to. I remember when I had one of those conversations with my cousin when he was helping me and he was doing what we call facilitating, which is basically when somebody asks you a bunch of questions, follows the energy, and kind of sees what it is that is creating whatever the difficulty may be. And so he was facilitating me and through questions and just following the energy like he does so amazingly. Um, I realized that most of the stuff I was struggling with wasn't even mine. And this is something that you can actually try on yourself. And how is it that you can know that you're psychic or not? Is through this tool. So if you ask yourself for every thought, feeling, emotion, or for anything that right now may be bothering you or may be difficult in your body right now, if you ask yourself, is this actually mine? Your body might get a sense of relief from that question alone. And what you do with that is you literally ask your body, just like a request for the universe, a request for your body to please send it back to whomever it is it belongs to. And so imagine you going around life being as psychic as I think you are if you clicked on this video, and not knowing that all of these thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, points of view are not even actually yours, and just walking around and making them real and solidifying them, making them super heavy on you in your body. Now, I did this for so long, for most of my life, and realizing that I was psychic and that I had the power to change everything that I was making mine because I felt it, right? So it was mine, but it wasn't. Realizing that I had the power to change that just, goddamn, has brought so much ease into my life. Has been one of those things that I know that consistently I have to use, and consistently improves my life. For the simple fact of me being aware with the fact that I'm aware. So how many of you walk around life not even uh, um, acknowledging how aware you are? So like, this can show up in so many ways, right? Like, you know something is gonna happen, you know that something is gonna go wrong, or you know somebody's gonna pass away, you know that something is gonna work out too. And this power of future, these psychic abilities are a gift. And I think for so many people who are still struggling with all these thoughts, feelings, and emotions that they think are theirs, they're using their gift against themselves, which is exactly what I was doing. I was taught from a very young age that being as crazy as I was, as joyful as I was, as psychic as I was wrong. And so I made it wrong and started using it against me and try to avoid it. But what would it be like for you to acknowledge that you are psychic too, that you're perceiving a lot of the insanity in the world? And does it bring you any lightness? This question of, okay, this heaviness I've been feeling, this anxiety, this depression, truth, is it mine? And now you might perceive that the energy kind of goes up, like something goes up in your body. You might perceive it's just like deep breath. You might perceive nothing, like this emptiness, which is actually space. Or you might perceive it in a different way. What I would say is, whatever that is, be aware of it and send it back. I send you back with consciousness attached, with light attached. You're not, by the way, this, who does this belong to? A lot of people think that you're gonna send bad energy, negative energy to somebody else. But what if that's not the case? What if you're sending them back the awareness that this thing that is showing up in your body, that your body is telling you, hey, this person has that? What if you can just send it to them with consciousness attached, so that they may see it, so that they may change it or not? Because it's just a choice. And so that's how I realized I was psychic. Because the more I asked this question, and the more lightness I got from this question and from the choice of sending it back, the more of me I had. And the more I was able to grow this ability of actually hearing people's thoughts, actually hearing what they're saying, even though they're not even saying it. I've been able to develop this capacity of all of these abilities with entities, in which that's for another video, but I can sense their presence. I can sense their presence, and it's not supernatural, it's super natural. It's super natural. Entities are everywhere. They don't really have a body. Many of them don't know they've passed. They don't know they've had a body. And so sometimes just saying, hey, I see you, I know you're here, changes the energy in the room. And that's the power that comes from knowing that you're a psychic, and knowing that you have the power to change these things. And no longer be at the effect of the room, but be the force that walks into the room and changes the energy of the room, whatever may be happening. Because when you are the space, that emptiness, that space of like, I don't have 20 backpacks on my back of things that are not mine, that I'm trying to solve, that I'm trying to fix, that are killing me, that are killing my body, that are creating all of this anxiety, all of this stress. What the hell else is possible? And I'm here to tell you that something else is possible and that you don't have to carry that heavy load. You can actually just be the alchemist. The alchemist that alchemist, that contagiousness, that light. There's a ton more tools, and if you'd like, I'd love to go more into this tool of light and heavy, which is what we used a little bit here to see whether it was yours or if it wasn't yours. And we can talk a little bit more about that because I know that you can do it at home. And if you have any questions, and I really do mean it, if you have any questions, please leave it below. My name is Chris. I am an Access Consciousness Facilitator. You can find all these tools and many more on my Instagram or here on YouTube. And I also talk a lot about consciousness all over, so you can find me somewhere, I'm sure. Thanks.